Hey guys, so it is December, we've reached the end of another year, and this year feels like it's gone by so quickly. So in today's video, I thought I would share something that I like to do annually, and that is to really take a look, take inventory, take stock of my personal finances for the year so that I know how to move forward for the year ahead. I've got lots of different videos which include some of the things I'm going to talk about today, but yeah, I just thought I would talk through what I've already done. I know it's just hit December, but I've already done this for the year of 2022, taken a look at our finances, strategized a bit for 2023, even though that will look different for us with a baby on the way very soon. But yeah, I think this is a really important step in someone's personal finance journey. If you're trying to move forward and better yourself, I think it's always important to review what's happened so far, take some time to pat yourself on the back, take some time to reflect on what worked and what didn't work. And so I'll talk you through that today. So for the first thing, you may or you may not have set yourself financial goals for the year 2022. I personally did set myself some financial goals. So I reflected on those to see what was achieved, what wasn't achieved, and figured out for the things that were achieved, why were they achieved? And for the things that weren't achieved, why weren't they achieved? And so there's lots of different reasons why some goals were reached and some goals weren't reached. Some of the goals I would consider stretch goals, I guess. They were a bit out there, but I set them nevertheless, because I think sometimes you need to be bold and dare to be a bit courageous with your goals. In reflecting on your goals, there may be things that worked well for you this year that you think, actually, I'm going to keep that as a goal for next year. So for instance, one of your financial goals could have been investing £500 a month, for instance, and you were able to achieve it this year, and you think, actually, next year I'm going to do the same thing. Or you may have set a goal to invest £500 a month and you weren't able to achieve it, and you need to adjust a few things because of the cost of living crisis, etc. Or you were able to do £500 a month and you feel like you can stretch yourself a bit further. So next year you're going to try £750 a month. So it's just about tweaking those goals. And I think it's really important to have goals. It gives you a bit of guidance, a bit of clarity to what you're working towards. And it's not just about it's not just a fluffy activity to do. There's something really powerful about thinking through what it is you want to achieve, writing it down somewhere on your phone, on your laptop, in a notepad. You can put it up on your pin board, whatever it is that works for you, because it really helps you keep the momentum to keep going to achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve. I also really want to say that if you were able to reach some goals but not all, give yourself a huge pat on the back, because it has been a tumultuous year. 2022 has been crazy financially, for many reasons across the UK and actually across the globe. So if you were able to achieve anything, you should feel proud. The second thing I would say is, when you're reflecting on those goals that you have, whether it be financial or non-financial, take some time now, it's early December, to figure out, is there anything that you can do over the next couple of weeks to close the gap in these financial goals. So could you potentially work on something to achieve the goal by the end of this year? Maybe you could, maybe you can't. But just take a moment to reflect on that, because that may be a kickstart to working on your 2023 goals, when you realise, I can actually finish this goal by the end of 2022 just because I'm putting so much work into it. And by 2023, I'm ready to smash those next goals. So just have a think. Maybe you can't, maybe you can, but you never know. Again, worth reflecting. Number 3 is for my budgeters. So if you are a budgeter, whether you have my budget spreadsheet that I sell on Etsy, or whether you have your own budget spreadsheet, look through the year. Hopefully you've got a budget per month across the year, so you can look through to see, were there any categories that you consistently overspent in? Were there categories that you underspent in? Were there categories that you found actually weren't relevant in your budget, or categories that you found kept creeping up that you weren't really including, but there seemed to be a pattern occurring. So when you look at your budget from this perspective, you'll be able to understand, hopefully, okay, what needs tweaking, what needs adjusting. If there are any expected changes coming up, have you accounted for that in your budget for 2023? So one of the ones that I can say is utility bills, because it affects us all. So utility bills have gone up. Don't know about you, but I got a nasty bill for the month of November. But that's because I like to keep my house fairly warm, but still got a nasty bill. And yeah, I know that these utility bills have gone up. I'm really now seeing it, and it's going to go up yet again in April. So already I like to budget 6 months to a year in advance. I've accounted for the utility bills going up again in April next year. So are there any changes that you're expecting, such as that, or change of employment? Maybe your income is going up, maybe your income is going down. If you're like me and you're going on maternity leave, that is a huge impact to your income, so you need to plan for that. There could be lots of different things going on. I'm not going to go through a million scenarios, but when thinking about your budget, think about things that may change next year and really adjust your categories accordingly. So for my budgeters, if you're anything like me, this is a good time to reflect on what happened in 2022 and what you take forward in 2023. Number 4 is about your emergency fund. Hopefully by now you know that, if you've been on my channel for a while, that an emergency fund should be between 3 to 6 months worth of your expenses. So you calculate all your expenses for the month, you times it by 3, or you times it by 4 or 5 or 6, and that would be how much you need to save in your emergency fund. Is that still intact now at the end of the year? And if it's not, how much do you need to top it up by? And obviously right now, with interest rates being higher than they were at the beginning of this year, or much higher actually, is your emergency fund getting at least some decent interest as opposed to the 0.01%, I think, that I was getting at the beginning of the year? There are lots of savings accounts now which are offering higher interest rates. Some of them are easy access savers, some of them are a bit more fixed, so you can only do certain withdrawals. So you have to figure out basically what would work for you, but get some money back for the money that you're storing away for an emergency, especially now in the environment that we're in financially. Number 5 is to check your net worth. Now, for a lot of people, this value they don't like. I have a whole video on net worth, which I recommend checking out, but I personally find it very useful. I update mine every single month. Takes me 5 minutes every single month. It's on my budget spreadsheet, so it's just part of the process that I do on a monthly basis when it comes to budgeting. Takes me 5 minutes, but what I will tell you is it's just incredible to see how it's changed over time. So month by month it varies, but if I look back to January 2020, for instance, versus December 2022, I can see what categories have gone up or gone down, etc. And I just think it's always good to have a bird's eye view of all of your finances, and that's what net worth allows you to do. It allows you to look at all your assets, all of your liabilities, gives you a great bird's eye view, and personally for me, I find it very helpful. So if you are someone who has your net worth, check your net worth. Is it trending in the right direction? Are you seeing it go up? Which hopefully that should be the goal. If you're working your personal finances, your net worth should be steadily going up. Or have you seen it decrease a lot because you've taken on a lot of liabilities, or you've ran up credit card debt this year and dwindled down your savings? Again, no judgment, because it's been a tough year financially for a lot of people. But if that is something that you've seen, maybe that's worth considering addressing in your goals for 2023. Step 6 is to take stock of any minor bills that you have or subscriptions. Are you paying the best possible amount, so the lowest value that you possibly can for those things? I've just recently done a switch from Sky to Virgin, which is saving us £10 a month, but on top of that we've got £133 cash back, so it just really worked out a lot in our favour financially to do that switch. So are there any bills that you can consider switching so that you can get better value for your money? Another thing to consider is subscriptions. If you're anything like me, you've got more than 2 or 3 subscriptions going. I've just found a subscription that I didn't even realise. I don't even know where it came from. I think I signed up for a free trial and forgot to cancel. It just popped up on my email and I was like, need to cancel that so I don't have to pay £7 a month. So just check through to make sure that you're not paying for any subscriptions that you're not using, that you forgot about, any free trials that you forgot to cancel. It can easily happen. So that is another thing to consider. The 7th thing is to do a bit of future proofing or retirement planning, however you want to see it. So just have a look to see what's going on with your pension. Are you happy with what's going on? Whether you are doing, whether you have an employer-based pension, are you contributing the maximum in order to get the maximum amount that your employer will contribute? I think it's also good, personally, to have an idea of how much is actually in your pension account. A lot of people aren't saving enough towards pensions. They undermine how much they'll need in the future. There are lots of different things online, guides and stuff that you can look at. And I've also got a video that gives you a rough idea of what some experts recommend in terms of pension and what you should be saving towards. When you know how much you've got so far saved towards pension, you can get an idea of if how much you're saving is sufficient or whether you're going to need to up your contributions. Also, if you feel like you are in the know enough about investments, are you happy with what your money is being invested in? Is it too bond heavy and there's not enough stock, so the risk tolerance level is quite low? Are the fees quite high? Again, this is really only if you feel comfortable looking into it. Otherwise, you're better off not touching it or speaking to a financial advisor if you wish to kind of get a review of that. But yeah, I think it's good to do some future proofing, retirement planning, at least once a year, every single year. And the last thing that I've got on my list, but by far not the least, is investments. So are you being the most tax efficient as possible? So in the UK, we've got wonderful ISAs. Again, I've got lots of videos about ISAs. So if you're not using an ISA and you're investing through a general investment account, you're potentially not being the most tax efficient as possible, and the capital gains allowances are going to be changing in years to come. So really, ISAs are the way to go. ISAs and pensions are the most tax efficient vehicles in the UK for us to use when it comes to investments. So check that. Are you being tax efficient? And of course, like I mentioned earlier, have you set yourself some investment goals? If you haven't, I think it's good for everyone, all the way from beginner novice to experienced investor, to have some kind of idea about investing, understand the importance of it and why we really need it in order to outpace inflation, but also to have some investment goals every single month. So for you, that could be investing £10 a month. And if that's what it is, brilliant, because you're building a habit of investing £10 a month, and before you weren't investing anything. That's a great start. It may be £100 a month, it may be 500, it may be 1,000, it may be 1,500. So whatever that amount is that you've decided you would like to invest per month, you need to go back to your budget and forecast for 2023. Is this possible with everything else that I want to achieve? It all kind of goes back to the budget, if I'm honest, but you know, again, that's because I love a budget, so I'm gonna say that. But yeah, I digress. So investments are something that's really important. I do have a lot of videos for people who are starting off and have no idea, you know, what it's all about. Basically creative videos that would have helped me in the beginning. So I've got an investment playlist, you can check that out for beginner investors. I've linked it down below in the description. But I hope this video has been helpful to you, that you're gonna take some time before the end of the year to review everything that you've achieved this year, not achieved, figure out what it is you want to do for 2023, and really just have a good understanding of your personal finances as a whole for the year, and really anticipate and look forward to and set some good goals for the year ahead. I'm hoping this won't be my last video for the year, but I'm not too sure. So if it is my last video of the year, then I want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas. It's my favourite time of year, and I hope it's a wonderful one for you and your family despite life circumstances right now. Thank you so much for sticking around on my channel, for getting me very close to 4K, if not 4K right now. Such a blessing in 2 years. So yeah, thank you so much to you all. If you are here and you haven't already subscribed and you've been watching my videos, please do subscribe. It's just really a great way for me to know that it's reaching people who are enjoying my content. It's free, it doesn't cost you anything, so please subscribe and also like the video. And again, just thank you so much for all your support. Anyway, I look forward to seeing you in the next video real soon.